everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Imaginary Boys podcast. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero, and I have my secondary host, Mr. Lettuce. Whee! What was that?
That was me going.
You know what that? It sounds like you just set off like a firework. You know when it like does the hiss to go straight up into the air. That's what that sounded like to me. I thought maybe you like lit a firework off in front of the microphone. I was like,
no, actually, to be perfectly honest, I think my software, because I was looking at the waveform when I was doing it.
Yeah,
and it looks like I think the waveform's like you a spike of the mic, no good.
Yeah, I said we at the beginning of the podcast because Lettuce started it. It was his fault. He was the one who started it.
Zawardo.
He Lettuce does that sometimes. He'll like say something really, really fast or do something really, really fast right before the microphones officially turn on, which prompt me to say something, but we've already started, so
I just tried to trip up your recording because we're professionals.
Yeah, clearly. Whee!
I'm gonna f you up.
Yeah, so yeah,
You've activated my trap card.
Activated. How did you know? How did you know that, oh man, it makes me wish I knew that I like actual Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I need my 5 pieces of Exodia to activate my trap card so that I can win the game, but not actually win the game by bringing out Blue Eyes White Dragon and Red Eyes Black Dragon and fuse them together using my other trap card, Fusion Gate, because I am Seto Kaiba.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh sucks.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh is like of all the American like Americanized animes,
yeah,
based on like games and popular and like meant to sell products.
Yeah,
like Yu-Gi-Oh was by far the worst.
So I
have no idea how Yu-Gi-Oh took any kind of took a hold of any kind of following in this country.
Well, it rode the coattails of Pokemon, right? Wasn't that how its big coming out was?
I mean, that's the game.
Yeah,
but the cartoon is like
it's
some anime cartoons are very, very, very Japanese.
Yeah.
And then there's Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is like so Japanese, I don't think Japanese people recognize it.
Is it really like super Japanese? Because I don't even remember it being that because I've never really watched Yu-Gi-Oh. I remember when I was a kid, I was in middle school and a bunch of my friends were really into it. I never really got into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I did collect cards, but I only collected the cards because my friends liked the game and they kind of were like, well, we're just going to give you some cards. And I was like, all right. Like I have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons that I still have them.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, but the thing, they were given to me for free when I was a kid. I didn't buy that. I didn't buy that shit. No way. And I also have a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is like the fusion of 3 of them. And one of the 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons is a toon Blue Eyes White Dragon. And but here's the thing that I love about my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. They're all covered in Scotch tape. All the corners of all the cards that I have are covered in Scotch tape. Because, so, you know the classic saying a lot of old school Magic players love to say, which is, I remember when I used to play with my Magic cards, and we didn't have sleeves, so those things got cut up and scratched up because that's how we played. Well, as a person who, only played the game because his friends played it, and they gave me all their cards for free, and this was also back in the days before everybody was sleeving their Magic cards and, Pokemon cards and what have you.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh cards were a wholly different size.
Yeah.
So good luck finding those sleeves.
They literally did have special sleeves designed for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I do remember that.
No, I remember. I also remember them being expensive as heck because they were like
specially made
sleeves.
Yeah. But the whole thing was that we didn't have sleeves. And one of the things, like, this is totally a major quality control problem on the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So, like, whatever card stock that the old classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards used to do, they were terrible. And like I would even argue that the old card stock for Yu-Gi-Oh cards was worse than the card stock quality for Magic cards now. And what happened is, because, like, you know how, like, nowadays with Magic cards, like, they bend and they pringle and all that. The thing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards, the corners would split down the middle of the card. So, like, the corners would curl. Like, so, like, you would have, like, literally, like, the it was like a multi-layered paper.
Well, I mean, that's all card stock. It's just the problems that Magic is having now with card stock, Konami had with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Right.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, see, Magic went from having good card stock to having cheap card stock. Konami went from having cheap card stock to having not so cheap card stock.
Right. So the issue that me and my friends had when we used to play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in the day was the corners would fray and the corners would curl up the card. And then, like, at that point, they're just destroyed. And I still even have a couple that don't, that have, like, those curled corners. And so, like, some of my friends would be like, oh, well, I just put them in penny sleeves, because even though people weren't doing, like, real sleeves, like real card sleeves back then, there were basic penny sleeves that you could get, and they were just, like, shitty little plastic things, and you could just kind of throw them in there and whatever. But, little 12, 13-year-old me didn't give a shit about that. So I was like, well, how do I prevent these corners from fraying? I'll just Scotch tape. So all of my, like, Yu-Gi-Oh cards have, like, Scotch taped corners. And it's really funny to me because some of them are, like, worth a lot of money now. So, like, I think, like, Blue Eyes White Dragon actually is, like, a pricey card. Like, the old school ones are, like, actually worth a pretty decent amount of money, I think. And it cracks me up because all of my Blue Eyes White Dragons have, like, Scotch taped corners.
Yeah. So I'm going to apologize to you.
Yeah.
Mostly because you brought up Blue Eyes White Dragon first, which kept me from running that joke into this podcast. So kudos to you, because I had fully intended on doing that here.
You've been, like, bullying me with that in all of my Inscription videos, man.
Yeah, no, you got a little passive aggressive about that shit. It was like I'm like, am I taking this too far?
Well, because no, dude, it's like, well, I mean, so, like, the first time it was funny. Like, I thought it was funny because I was like, yeah, man, you're totally right. And the second time I was like, all right, man, yeah, uh-huh. And then, like, the third time I was like, bro, come on, like, come on. There's more.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's all good. Like, I just, like.
And no, I was serious. It's like when I said I could do it 9 times.
You're going to do it 9 times.
I had fully intended on doing it 9 times.
You can't even get like you can't even, like, sneak in, like, a dark magician girl in there or something like that, or
no.
You can't tell me that you have the 5 pieces of Exodia. Like, you can't even go that far.
No. This thing is that wasn't even a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. I mean, yes, it's obviously a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Okay, I was like, what?
But so there is a YouTuber called Just a Pancake.
Okay, never heard of him.
He made a couple of. I mean, he did the entire Kingdom Hearts series, like like Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell.
Oh, okay.
And I will link you to this so that you can see them. But for the game Chain of Memories.
Right.
Because it's a card
Because
battling
it's a card
system.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Sora like card battling. So Sora goes, "Come forth, blue eyes, white dragon."
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of where I was going for that. But being that you've never seen it, you just thought it was me like doing Yu-Gi-Oh jokes. I tried to mix it up, and I tried doing like magic jokes and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So I've
I would
been
do Soulforge. I would do Soulforge jokes, but I don't
Soulforge?
remember shit all from playing that game,
I don't know
and
Soulforge.
I don't think anybody else played that game.
Yeah, I don't even know that game.
Soulforge was a game very much like Inscription,
Okay. I
or
love
at least
Inscription.
the card battling system of Inscription.
Okay. Like sacrificing stuff to get other things into play and stuff like that.
Get sacrificing stuff, getting other things in play, playing things so that you can level them up, stuff like that.
Which I think also, like, I think the whole, like, playing stuff for free and then sacrificing to get bigger stuff out, I think that's actually a Yu-Gi-Oh thing, too. If I remember correctly.
I mean, I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh for that much either.
It's been a long time. I only played it for, like, I think I played it for, like, a year and a half in middle school.
You know what card game I really loved, but died really quickly?
What?
And doesn't and just kind of like unfairly died? The Versus system.
Versus system. That sounds familiar to me. Is that like a Final Fantasy thing?
Marvel versus Cap. It was basically Marvel versus and DC versus.
Interesting. Okay.
It was a game in the early thousands.
I played like Marvel versus Capcom and stuff like that. Like
well, no, just it was called the Versus system, and it had a Marvel game and a DC game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The system kind of got cobbled together, or got like overly simplified, and became the WoW CCG.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And then it got even further simplified for Hearthstone.
Oh, okay. Which is like, is Hearthstone still like a major thing? Like, I know it still exists and it's probably still relatively popular, but like, I feel like I hear less and less about it on a regular basis. Like, I feel like it's not as big of a thing as it used to be.
I mean, I've taken my thumb off the pulse of the digital card game area when I leaped the hell out of Arena.
Good for you, by the way.
Because
that game's terrible.
and I keep hearing it's getting worse and worse. So I kind of feel like a genius for jumping ship when I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I played the beta, and I did like 3 tutorials in the beta, and then I was like, I don't like this game. I don't.
Oh no, there was. Anymore. I played the beta, and the first 2 or 3 years, the first 2 years of the launch of the game, after the beta launched, I sunk easily $1,000 into that game.
Yeah, I know you've talked about it a couple times, which like I can't
easily
even imagine.
I mean, that's $1,000 over 2.5 years.
I mean, so I don't even fault you on that, because I kind of overall look at it as like, you found it entertaining. It was worth your time and your money at that time. So you spent some money on it and you had a good time. Like, it's all good.
And to be perfectly honest, like at the beginning of it, it was, this was right after my divorce and right after I got my job that gave me my insane commute.
Right.
So I just couldn't be a Magic player.
Yeah.
Because I spent all my I just spent all my time in my car.
Oh yeah. Right. So you didn't have
this is when I had to do this is when I had to do an hour and a half one way on the daily.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to do on a Friday, the last thing I wanted to do on a Friday night was to drive to not home and sit in a card shop.
Yeah. I get
like
that.
I loved playing. I mean, I still love playing Magic, but the last thing I wanted to do was drive more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was actually a pretty good playing a pickup game of Standard. best of one,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole best of one system where I don't have to like worry about having a sideboard or devoting, 80 minutes to a match.
Right.
Like best of one was like one of the best things for me. I could play 5 games, get my magic filled for the night, and be done with it. So I saw that and I was like, okay, so this is completely outside of maybe a potential, like the potential EDH game I might get invited to during my weekends off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll keep a couple EDH decks and sell everything else,
Right.
and maybe keep a modern deck if I go on a vacation and there's a modern tournament I want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw Arena as an incredibly cheap way to stay inside Magic.
Yeah.
And to compete in the quote unquote standard metagame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I was getting complete sets of each set for like $100 for like the cost of one physical booster box.
Right, which you can't get a complete set of if you're just buying one box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting a complete set of boosters. I mean, like maybe 2 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So for the cost of 2 boxes, in Arena, I was getting complete sets because for what I was missing, I was generating enough wild cards so that I could blow them and complete the set.
Right.
And I got to the point where I actually was keeping a surplus of wild cards. So anything I was doing any playing I was doing in between releases was basically compiling wild cards for the next set. And it got to the point where instead of buying 3 digital booster boxes, I was buying 1 and gem purchasing the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
So and then when I didn't have, I just wildcard bought.
Yeah.
I just wildcard crafted. I was free rolling. For like a year and a half. I was free rolling playing standard Magic for the cost of the mana base of a standard Magic deck.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning, Arena was not as bad as it made out to be, if you acknowledged that this is what you were doing.
Yeah, well, and like I was about to say, because it's like you don't own the cards, like you don't physically own them, and that's like where a lot of people get a little turned out of shape with it.
Yeah, I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I feel that. But I mean, there's plenty of stuff where it's like, like there are people who spend like multiple thousands of dollars on like gacha games and stuff like that. So, it's.
I mean, that's Arena. Like, yeah. I mean, I guess, given my distaste for gacha games, you could tell me, the grand I spent on Arena,
mm-hmm.
and over the course of 2.5 years. Was me spending $1,000 on a gacha game, and I'll be like, right on.
Yeah,
no, you got me.
Yeah, but also like
you got me, bro.
Magic packs, and as a person who's definitely throughout his lifetime who's bought physical cards growing up as well as into his adulthood until only recently, I was buying like buying a pack of Magic cards is a gacha game. Like, I'll be straight up. Like, that's what it is.
I mean, the OG
it's the original loot
pack
box
of cards. The pack of cards was the original loot box.
Yeah,
it was sports cards, and then it became Magic cards.
So like, I can't hold Arena against you because I used to buy Magic packs. Like, so it's like
I used to buy Magic packs.
Yeah,
and the thing is like I would split cases with people.
Yeah, like, same here.
So I'm spending $450 every 3 months.
Well, okay, I didn't split cases with people, but I split boxes with people.
I split cases. We were completing sets. Oh. We were grinding PTQs. We were trying to make the Pro Tour.
Watch out! We got a professional badass over here.
Yeah, we got to try hard. So yeah, I was I was splitting cases, like the cost of cases. I was spending $450
Right.
at a bare minimum. To be perfectly honest, at each set's release, let's see here. There's 400. I spent $450 on product to open.
Right.
I spent on a pre-release weekend. I would easily spend another 50 in event and at events or product, whatever.
Right.
And then what I didn't get, and when I, after I cracked everything and took claim of the decks that I wanted to build and what I needed,
Right.
I bought singles, and that's another 200. That was easily another $200.
Right.
This for the 3 months.
Because singles will do that to you, man.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I went from spending almost $600 a set release to $100 an arena for basically the same experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that overall. I mean, I kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes I have like really hypocritical views and I try like not to, but in fact, I was talking with you about some of my ridiculous hypocritical views that I just can't help earlier.
I don't think that one. I don't think the one we were discussing is exactly hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's
selfish. No, you nailed it when you said it's selfishness.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, because like sometimes I'll be like, I don't like this thing, and I don't think anybody should like it either because I don't like it, and like I don't want to be that guy, but sometimes I can't help but like be that guy, and like I try.
You are like genetically that guy.
I try so hard not to, and like I try to recognize that I'm doing it before I get too deep into it. If anybody's wanting to know, me and Lettuce were just
yuck a lot of yums.
You what?
I said you're the kind of guy who will yuck a lot of yums.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I think I get the basic idea.
Don't yuck somebody else's yum.
Yeah,
like somebody who thinks something is tasty.
Yeah.
Let other people enjoy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you are definitely the yucker to everybody else's yum.
I sometimes imagine myself as like, I have this like picture that I love. I love it so much because like I use it, like I imagine it for a lot of other people, but sometimes I have to like go ahead and take the L and imagine it for myself too. There's this picture that I love that's like a comic strip, and it shows this guy who's like really angry looking. He's just super pissed off. And like he puts his hands around his mouth and he shouts at the top of his lungs up to the sky, I hate this thing, like really, really loudly. And then all of a sudden, the clouds part open and a beam of light shines down on the guy, and an angel slowly flies down towards him, like with the biggest, nicest, kindest smile. And the angel hands the man a piece of paper and then flies back up to the heavens. And then the clouds close and the light disappears. And the man grabs the piece of paper and unwraps it. And the piece of paper says, okay. And like that's how like I feel about that kind of stuff, because like whether it's me thinking of other people or whether it's me thinking about myself doing that kind of stuff, which is I hate this thing, and it's like, okay. Thank you for shouting that to the heavens. But yeah, we were talking earlier about horror games, and I kind of have like this thing where I've been getting more annoyed with the idea of horror games being targeted at children, and I've been trying to figure out whether or not it's like an okay thing to do. And I kind of even got into an argument with Cinder Shadow about it, and like Cinder Shadow was making a bunch of really good points about it, and he kind of like made me realize that I was freaking out about nothing.
Yeah, I could imagine Cinder Shadow's arguments, because I would probably make half of them myself.
Yeah, well, because like a lot of his points were like basically saying like, you do know that this has been a thing like since we were children,
Yeah.
like, and like I didn't really think about it until he said it, like because like he was like, I used to watch like shows that had jump scares or played games that had jump scares, and as a kid, And like that was something I really liked. And when I heard him say that, I kind of thought about it, and I was like, I used to read Goosebumps when I was a kid, which are horror books for children. And like I used to play, like I loved Silent Hill and the early Silent Hill games when I was a kid, and
I mean, as a kid, I watched slasher
yeah, man,
flicks. Like, there's some things that maybe children with their developing brains shouldn't be exposed to, but sometimes you can't help that. You can't help some things.
yeah,
But these places making media for general consumption have to try to be accessible to the widest range of audience. So yeah, you get horror games that are more psychological than the kind of gritty, dark, gory, dirty horror that you are used to.
yeah,
The things that when you were a kid, you exposed yourself to when they probably didn't intend you to be exposed to it.
yeah. Well, and a
And
part of it
that's
too is like wondering, like, because I was getting like worried also that some of it was becoming exploitative to children and stuff like that. But I think
I
that I was
mean,
kind of overreacting on it overall.
eh, life is kind of a bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the things that I know that you're complaining about,
Mhm.
there's way worse things that kids are being exposed to right now.
Well, and I mean,
Cycle putting putting a child in a dark forest by themselves
mhm.
is, unfortunate, but it's by far one of the better situations. It's by far one of the of crappy things to happen to that child.
Yeah,
Being alone in a dark forest is probably the least of the evils.
yeah. Well, it
And
was
that's
just
the speed of horror these days.
yeah.
Is they're gonna put a child in a dark forest, and eventually nothing bad will happen to it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like for example, like Five Nights at Freddy's franchise is really popular with children right now, and I mean that whole franchise, like that entire storyline, is built around the concept of child murder.
Yeah,
Like, that's what that whole story is about. Like it's all about
and
killing children.
yeah,
So I mean,
and when Five Nights at Freddy's was one or two guys working in their basement.
one guy.
I thought he had at least one other person working with him.
No, it's just Scott
Okay.
Cawthon. He made the first, like, I think like 2 or 3 games all by himself, and then he started expanding and hiring more people after that, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. So the first three games, but the problem is because of the limited scope,
Yeah.
it wasn't all that gory.
Oh, I
You
would
got
argue that 3 got kind of gory, but I mean, like the villain in the main villain in the third game is literally a mangled corpse inside of a robot skin, and there are times where you can like see like his gory meat leaking out of the suit. So
yeah. But do you see the suit consuming more gore, more gore bags in order
no,
to
it's not a
recharge
bloody.
itself?
You're right. It's not a bloody series. I totally get
It's not a
you.
bloody series.
Yeah.
Let's look at Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm. Which
Freddy
is like
Krueger,
pretty gory.
yeah, Freddy Krueger, like back in our day,
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty gory.
Yeah, and it was a gory story and movie.
It was a gory story. Freddy Krueger in today's day and age, Freddy Krueger would probably be the antagonist in a uh like very hard PG-13 horror movie.
That's interesting. Like in other words, like in our current society, in our current
In our current,
perceptions.
if Nightmare on Elm Street were to be were to be remade today, it would be very easy to get Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, a PG-13.
Yeah. It'd also probably do a lot of good for the marketing of that series too.
Yeah, but you would still have, and the thing is like Freddy with his messed up face
Yeah.
and the knives for fingers.
Yeah.
Um, you would have you could have that, and it would be fine. It would be fine for young teenagers,
You know, it's
it would be perfectly acceptable for preteens.
It's actually kind of interesting. So I was watching some YouTube videos that were kind of reviewing the most recent Batman movie that just came out,
I
and
want to
one
see
of the
that.
most, huh?
I kind of want to see it.
I haven't seen it, and I don't know if I want to see it.
I heard Arpat was a pretty good Batman.
Yeah, I have not seen it, and I'm not sure if I want to or not. I'm a little on the fence about it.
You don't do modern cinema because you're a
right.
snob.
Yeah, I just think that Hollywood sucks now. But anyways, one of the most interesting things that I heard about the new Batman movie from a couple of different people that were reviewing it is a couple of the different people I watched that were talking about it basically said that they were surprised that it wasn't an R-rated movie. They said that they felt like that it was super dark and gritty and nasty enough that there were a couple of times where they thought that it could have been pushing an R rating, but they purposely edited it and toned it back so they could keep their PG-13 rating for better marketing purposes.
Yeah,
Which
you know what lands you the hard R.
The what?
You know what lands you a hard R in the ESRB now?
What?
Sex and language.
Yeah, boobs.
Sex and language.
Yeah.
And
violence doesn't really do it anymore.
Violence is like PG.
Yeah.
Like violence is actually in the realm of PG, not just PG-13 at this point.
Yeah.
The violence has to be incredibly graphic and grotesque,
right,
for it to land an R.
Yeah.
But the problem is in the kind of video where you have like in the kind of movie where you have that kind of just like gory, graphic kind of dismemberment and evisceration of human flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody dropped in one too many F-bombs, and there was a titty somewheres.
I mean, I can't think of many PG-13 movies I've seen where they drop F-bombs. I feel like that's like something that would...
Language is still one of the things that takes the ESRB and inserts sand into the pretend vaginal canal.
That's interesting.
Because, these women at the ESRB absolutely do not have bottom halves.
Yeah, they float with their psychic powers as previously established.
Yeah, no. That is canon lore.
Yeah. We know the anatomy
of how the science works in the world.
Yeah, we know the anatomy of women. We're not stupid.
No, we're not incels.
No, definitely not. Yeah, it's just really interesting to me because I just kind of like, I don't know, I guess it was kind of a weird take that I had on horror. I guess I'm just kind of tired of seeing it. I think that's what it became, is like,
well, I mean, this harkens back to your shit take about Metroid.
The idea that Metroid Dread is bad, is that my shit take on Metroid?
No, the fact that they're selling Metroid Dread as a horror game.
Yeah.
It's not a horror game.
No, I mean,
they try to give you tense action and put you into dramatic situations.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a horror game.
Yeah.
But you remember Metroid for what it used to be, and you're like, this could have been with higher fidelity and a little bit better storytelling. This could have probably been a horror game. No, Metroid was never a horror game.
Yeah, I mean, I always felt
Metroid was never Aliens.
Yeah. Well, the first couple of Metroid games were kind of creepy. Like the whole like concept behind the Metroid aliens and Mother Brain and all that was kind of spooky. It's kind of grotesque.
Well, I mean,
but it was more in conception, not necessarily in graphical,
in
sell it.
execution, yes, there's the potential to be creepy there, but I mean, it's also just outside of something normal,
Right.
and anything outside of the normal has a good potential to be incredibly creepy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We can't
And that's
just
kind of like when you jump into psychological horror, right?
Yeah, no, we can't just start labeling anything that's outside of the norm as uh, as just by default like horrific.
Yeah.
We have to establish that there is uh, multiple buckets to start dropping things into.
Yeah. Overall, it's just I think that what I need to do is like go into the if I don't like it, I just try my best to ignore it. Like that's just what I have to do because I've done that with plenty of other things, but
Yeah,
it's
just
just
recognize it's not for you and just kind of move along.
yeah. Well, it was really disheartening because, like I said, like I've always been kind of a fan of like the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and then the most recent one just felt like such a letdown. Like I got so butt mad about it. I got so butt mad about the most recent game.
oh no, you did, and I was like, it's like Scott wasn't even in for this game all that much.
I mean,
Because
he
this was
was, but he left it at a point, you know.
Yeah, and you could probably tell the point at which he left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just
It's
it just like the it just feels like such a disappointment of the game. Like the new game is just really disappointing, and
no,
I was really butt mad about it.
Five Nights at Freddy became a viral success,
Yeah,
and it had to release a game to cash in on its mainstream notoriety.
yeah, man.
However, you're not going to release like a true FNAF 6 and expect to cash in on mainstream notoriety.
You mean FNAF 8? The most recent one was number 8.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so you're not going to release a real FNAF 8 and expect to cash in
I
on
just I just pushed up my
mainstream
glasses.
notoriety.
Excuse me, but
Um,
I believe the
um,
game you're
um,
talking about is Five Nights at Freddy's 8 because number
excuse me.
6 was the Pizza Simulator, which is
Um,
actually a very scary game, and then number 7 was Ultimate Custom Night.
actually, yeah, no, thanks,
And that,
thanks for,
and
thanks
that
for
doesn't
putting,
include the supplemental games, like, for example, FNAF AR and FNAF VR, which are technically part of the series, but not directly canon.
thank you, Professor, for putting me in my place. So this is how it feels when this is how you feel every time that I tell you that you're wrong.
I mean, I don't
Do
know.
I sound like that though? Like if
No, I was
okay,
doing a
good.
caricature of like a stereotypical nerd. I wasn't making fun of you specifically.
No. I just the thing is like I sometimes can just hardcore nerd out, and if I've ever done that, if I've ever done that to you, well then get good, scrub.
Well, at least I know that you're gonna double down instead of apologize, so that's good. At least you're still the same lettuce that I know.
You're the one who up. Why,
You're
why should
right.
I
I'm sorry.
apologize?
I'm
Why
sorry.
should I apologize?
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll go get you a soda, or like, would you like a cake? I can go get you like a cookie or
No,
something. Like,
I'll get you some soda.
shut up. Oh man. Oh,
Sweet corn. Sweet corn's a common.
sweet corn, man. Yeah, I do have to pick that up. It's I couldn't go in today. I've actually been in pain all day. My neck is killing me. I woke up this morning and my neck has just been super duper badly messed up. And I think I slept on it wrong and I've been sore and I was like originally planning to go into town to get the package today, but
Yeah, I think I slept on one of my arms wrong. It's been kind of
okay, so
buggy.
we're both in pain. Awesome.
Yeah, but I still went into town and got a haircut and ate a delicious prime rib.
Mm. I've been in like basically barely moving my head is extremely painful right now. So
Oh, nice.
Go. Yeah.
You know what will help you with your pain?
I assume that you're going to say something that's mildly insulting, but go ahead.
Buffalo wing soda.
Is that like actually part of the pack?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god! Because I know you're talking about bacon and sweet corn, but I didn't fully.
Yeah, there's bacon, there's sweet corn, there's ranch.
Oh god!
There's buffalo. There's buffalo sauce.
Yay me! Yay me!
No, there's. I got you all the condiments.
Oh,
there's
god.
Sweet corn. There's some peanut butter jelly.
Are they like resealable bottles, or are they just like once you crack them open, that's it?
Oh no, they're pop top glass.
Oh,
bruh.
Me. That means like I have to go through the entire thing, or otherwise it's just wasted.
Yeah, but you could probably like you take a clean shot and then you mix it with your favorite alcohol. And you
Why would I want to like mix good alcohol with buffalo wing soda? Why would I want to?
Buffalo. Let's see here. A good rum would probably mix really well with that. Not gonna lie.
With a buffalo wing soda.
You get the buffalo wing soda and get like a good coconut rum.
I actually have like a vanilla vodka. Maybe that would do it.
I don't know if the vanilla vodka is where you want to be. like a coconut rum.
Okay. Well, I do have like one like airplane bottle of Malibu, so
I mean that works too. Or like you had like a kind of buttery alcohol to mix with it, because I'm pretty sure it's like super spicy too.
Because everybody knows that buffalo wing sauce is better when you add butter.
Well, I mean everything is better when you add butter.
It's true. It's true.
Ask Paula Deen.
She probably is butter incarnate. She's just like made of butter and she wears like a human skin, right?
I would let Paula Deen sit just to test that theory.
Would let sit. Tastes like butter. I can't believe this is butter. This isn't butter.
We play Woodlet. Woodlet sit. And Paula Deen comes up and I'd be like, sit. I was like, why? Why? Because she's eaten so much butter in her life that I'm pretty sure her butthole tastes like butter.
I can't believe this is not Paula Deen. Oh man, so good.
So while you get delicious sodies,
yeah, great.
I am getting a couple of different flavors of Kit Kats. There's a new one, dark chocolate and strawberry flavored.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Nice. I tried the coffee one and that was really good, and the mint one was really good.
The mocha, yeah, I also bought a box of the mocha ones too because I agree those are pretty good.
The mocha ones are good.
The mint ones are kind of I could probably leave the mint ones.
Right.
Even though I did buy some because Courtney, I think she said she hadn't tried those yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought like a box of the mocha, box of the mint, box of the dark chocolate strawberry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't buy the cereal ones. They're terrible.
Yeah. And then there was a box of the Tic Tacs made with Coca-Cola.
Oh, that sounds weird.
They're actually really good.
Do you suck on Tic Tacs or do you crunch them?
Oh, I suck on them.
Oh, okay.
They kind of remind me of my penis.
Oh.
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 You poor boy. Oh, man. Well, hey, at least somebody's touching your Tic Tac.
When they can find it, yeah. Cell phone.
I feel like we just kind of like insulted ourselves in our own special way just now.
I mean, it's not an insult if it's true.
That's true. That's true. Yay, my feelings are hurt.
I mean, how are your feelings hurt? You're the one hung like a king snake.
Yeah, but I'm the one that made the joke. At least someone's touching your Tic Tac, implying you're a person who actually gets some.
Oh yeah, no. I'm hung like a gerbil, and you're forever alone.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, right?
Together we make one decent person.
Yeah, that's true. You complete me, Lettuce.
By our powers combined, we're a functional member of society. Oh, we're not even drunk.
It's true, we're not.
Oh.
We're not drunk, just very depressed.
Manic depression.
Mm.
It's why I self-medicate.
Yep, it's why I cry at night.
By the way, kids, PSA: alcohol doesn't solve manic depression.
No. Neither does working hard and trying to be a normal, respectable human being.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
that actually works. That actually works a lot less than the alcohol. I find out.
Yeah.
At least the alcohol puts you to sleep.
Well, that's kind of like my thing right now. Is I'm kind of like I've been like kind of in a downer mood, and so what I've been trying to do very recently is just work a little bit harder on all the things that I like to kind of work on. So that's why I've been
distract yourself with everything around you.
Yeah.
So you don't realize just how useless it all is.
Yeah. If you guys want to know a fun fact about me, whenever you notice that I'm putting out a lot of videos or I'm streaming a lot, like if I'm like streaming like multiple times, like 4 or 5 times in a single week, maybe more than that, or I'm like putting out a video every single day on a regular basis, it's because I'm severely depressed. That's why I'm doing that.
Yeah. You're just trying to distract yourself from the mundanity of all of life itself. No, I get it.
Yeah, from the crippling depression.
I understand you, bro. That's why I drink. My behavior is way less healthier than yours. Yeah. Trust me.
Well, yeah. And that's also why I'm trying to like distract myself with a few other video games lately. Like I'm trying to play some Inscription because I miss it and I want to distract myself with that. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft. I'm getting ready to get into what is it called? Core Tapper or something like that. Like that's going to be the next big game I play.
Oh, that's coming?
Core Keeper is out. Like Core Keeper it's out and I own it. It's in like early release and that's the next game, Core Keeper.
What's the multiplayer on that look like?
I don't know. Well, I haven't tried it yet. I haven't actually played it yet, but
because that was one of the things that we looked like might be interesting to do together if there was a multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, play the game together at the same time would be
really fun. Waiting for the Haunted Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, is that going to have multiplayer?
Probably not.
No, you're probably right. But yeah,
I tried playing the other dude's game. That dude's other game. The name escapes me.
Oh, Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a filthy casual, and that game's UI is just unnecessarily difficult.
One of the problems that I had with Stardew Valley is it's like and it's intentional, like, and I understand that this is intentional, but it feels because it's like it's supposed to be like a life simulator, like so like I understand that it's like this on purpose, but it's too slow for me. It's too slow.
That was my other issue, is that it didn't like the day-night cycle was way too slow.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, this is probably just a function of me trying to play that game on a 4K television.
Mm-hmm.
But the UI goes from either just like blitheringly small on 4K to like incredibly large, and then there's a lot of goofy stuff about the UI that just I think overly complicates the thing, and I'm willing to recognize I'm spoiled by having Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like sometimes when I see people playing Animal Crossing that it seems like it's got just a bit of a better pace than Stardew Valley, you know? Like
Right,
it
right.
it, it seems like that it moves a little bit better at the pace that you want to play the game at rather than how Stardew Valley is, which is like
Yeah.
it's very, you
I'm
know,
I'm playing Stardew Valley, and the only thing I can think of is like I could either be playing Animal Crossing or Civilization.
yeah. Do you like Civilization? I mean, obviously you must if you brought it up.
Oh no, I
Um,
love Civilization.
I've never been that into it. My sister is was trying to get me into the Civilization games, and I couldn't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into
No,
them.
you keep mentioning it,
Yeah, it's just never been
and
my kind of thing.
it's uh, it's an interesting multiplayer experience. I'll give it that much.
Okay,
Um,
is that primarily how you play it, or do you like
no, 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 no. I don't.
you just know that that's a
Playing
good feature
playing
to it?
playing Civilization multiplayer is a multi-day is a multi-day uh, commitment.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely play games that like require me to focus on them for like multiple days at a time. But like usually I like games that have like instantaneous progress, but I can still invest a lot of days into it, you know? Like the investing a lot of time is merely my choice. It's not like a requirement of the game, you know? Which is what I
Yeah.
feel like that is like kind of like what I was saying with Stardew Valley. Like it's a requirement of Stardew Valley to be really okay with investing. Like you have to like plan it out and like invest like, you know, a lot of time into it. And that's part of the gameplay. But I don't know if I can do
Yeah.
that.
The last time I played a multiplayer game of Civilization, it was a we basically had a local LAN because it's really important for the other players to be able to look behind them
Yeah.
and tell the person whose turn it is to quit jerking off and pass their and end their goddamn turn already.
Oh, it's kind of like playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. So we actually had a land going with a Civ 5 game, and then there was also like multiple games of Heroes of Might and Magic
Right.
also being played.
Hmm.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3 was a great game, by the way. It's one of my favorite all-time games.
Nice. Nice. Oh, yeah. I just I don't know. I've tried playing Civilization games, and that was kind of tough for me, and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. It's just not my thing. Um,
It's
but
it's not granular enough for you.
yeah, I guess.
Like it's turn-based, and I don't think you're much of a turn-based boy, which is weird because
Mm,
you like Japanese RPGs, but turn-based strategy is kind of a different thing.
yeah.
Because at the end, because especially there towards the end of the game, the computer processing all of the AI turns and everything,
Mhm. Yeah.
it could take a while towards the end of the game,
Right.
especially if somebody wasn't being a dick and killing everybody.
I think I don't mind like turn-based strategies, but I think it's about like the length and progression and investment in those turn-based strategy games that really kind of like affects
When was the
how
last time you played a Civilization game?
long time ago, like high
What was
school.
what was the okay? So high school for you was like 5 days ago, man.
So like back in probably 2007, 2008.
Okay, that might have been. I believe that was Civ 5. You might have been playing Civ 4 though.
That sounds kind of Civ 5 sounds kind of familiar, so that might have been it.
Oh,
But I remember that
actually, one of the saving graces of Civ 5, I believe, is uh, if you're playing a new game of Civ 5,
Mhm,
you go and game speed and you do quick.
mhm.
Their quick is one of the quicker quicks in the entire series.
Yeah.
Like some people have argued that it is a little too quick.
Right. I don't know. It's just never been my kind of thing. Like for example, like I even played like Warcraft 3 here and there, and it was mostly because my friends were really into it. And I also had a tough time getting into Warcraft 3. You know, like the OG.
I've never played a Warcraft Starcraft game.
I played a little bit of StarCraft 2, not very much of it, but I played a little bit of it. And I definitely played some Warcraft 3 because my friends were super duper into that. In fact, I still have my old Warcraft 3 battle chest. I actually found it a few weeks ago, actually. It was during one of Mike's streams. And we were talking about I was like looking for something to show to him. And
Physical media.
yeah, and I still have my old Warcraft 3 battle chest. So like, and it had all the manuals, all the discs. It even had like a free trial for World of Warcraft disc in it. So
I still have my Diablo 2 discs.
Oh man, that's a game I haven't thought about in forever.
However,
I never owned Diablo 2. I just played it on some friends' computers a couple of times.
However, I do not own a DVD drive.
I mean, those are pretty much non-existent at this. I don't think my computer even has a DVD drive on it anymore.
No, there's a good chance your computer doesn't have a DVD drive.
Yeah.
I had a computer with a DVD drive. It finally died.
Yeah.
So that my old computer was one of those things where, like, if I needed access to a DVD drive, I had that there. But yeah, I have no place to put a DVD drive in my case. I could probably steal my DVD drive from work and just pretend like it's not the DVD drive from work.
Right. Bro.
Because the thing is, it's like I don't use DVDs at work anymore.
Bro, clearly what we're all missing out on is we need to get our floppy drives out and we need to play some floppy games, homie.
Oh man. I'm pretty sure if I looked, I could probably find my zip drive.
Oh no. Oh man, dude, I used to actually use floppy disks a long time ago, like the hard floppies, not the floppy floppies.
My motherboard even have a serial connector on it?
I don't know. I remember I used to.
The thing is like I would have to find because my zip drive is a parallel port zip drive.
Okay.
Okay. So do you know that port that printers used to use?
Yeah.
Before printers moved to USB?
Yeah, that was the needle thing, right? The needle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was called the parallel port.
Gotcha. I know what you're talking about.
My zip drive used that port.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a USB printer and a parallel port zip drive. It was dumb and slow. So the thing is like I would if I were to find that zip drive,
mm-hmm.
I would have to find a parallel to serial converter, and hope that my computer had a serial port, because there's a good chance my computer doesn't have a serial port in it, because those things are going the way of the dodo as well.
Yeah. God, I remember some of the wacky old technology that, because like, you know, we've talked about my father before. He's always been like upgrading a lot. So like I've seen some wacky old hardware back in my day, like that my dad was always keeping up with. And some of the things were just weird. Like I remember I had a super crazy, stupid old school laptop, like long ass time ago. And I tried using it, and it had like the classic like green text on a black screen, like where it was just all just terminal based.
Yeah.
And like I remember my dad was like, "Here, this can be yours now." And I remember like I was just like, "Dad, I'm never going to use this. Like what the bruh?" I kind of wish I still had it, just to have like an ancient relic, like an old like computer fossil, but I definitely don't have that thing anymore. That was like a long time ago. Oh man. But I even remember because we were mentioning hard floppies, and I actually used to when I was like younger in my early computer days. I used to actually use hard floppies to save like web links to Newgrounds games and Newgrounds cartoons on it. So like I could take that floppy over to my friend's house. Like I would have the hard floppy and it would have all the links in it of like weird obscure Newgrounds games. And then I would go over to my friend's house and I'd bring over like the hard floppy and I'd be like, bro, plug this in. We're going to play some like crazy, weird, like Newgrounds games I found. Don't worry. I have them all like saved as links on the floppy so that we can just click the links and go straight to them. We don't have to like search for them or nothing. Oh, that's so cool, man. And you know that a few of those were like porn games and we were like 12 or 13 years old. Oh man. Newgrounds porn games. All right. Like you're definitely 18 or over. Totally, bro. Oh man. But yeah, man. So like we were talking earlier about like I wanted to like dive deeper into this and I almost forgot that we even brought it up, but since we were kind of like going back and forth about video games, like I've been really into like games that are like ARGs where they have like secret puzzles and stuff like that. Like as you know, I've been playing Inscription, which is like all about that Jimmy Jam. You know, they're all about the hidden puzzles and stuff that you have to like figure out outside of the main gameplay. And like I kind of love that stuff. In fact, actually like I first started getting into that stuff when because we were talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, and Five Nights at Freddy's had a lot of that kind of stuff in it as well. And that's kind of like what really got me into that kind of stuff. But are you into like, you know, ARG style games where they're like kind of like hiding?
I like the concept behind them.
Yeah.
But I also don't really spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of time playing them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the like really good ones are like, you know, they're few and far between. And like part of the problem too is that like a lot of the really good ones are solved, and like once you know the solution, they're not like interesting anymore. Like, you know, they like once you know what they're supposed to be, like, you know, like there's some where it's like once you know like what the secrets are, it's like it's not interesting anymore and there's like no replayability to it. Like the ARG is like the replayability, you know? So I don't know, like do you have any ones that are like your favorite, or, you know, even if you couldn't get totally invested into them or anything like that?
Like the one I spent the most time with at this point is Pokemon Go.
Which is technically an ARG.
Yeah. I mean that is the extent of my experience in well, that's the bulk of my experience in an ARG.
I would love if the properly classified Pokemon Go ARG had an ARG built into the ARG that's all about like Pokemon murder cases or something.
Yeah, my
So,
motherboard does not have a serial port on it.
is that what you were checking this whole time?
Yeah, I was listening to you and participating, but I was definitely pulling an image of my motherboard
So
to
good.
see if I have a serial port. I have no way of playing my zip drive. Well, I mean, if I could find it, I have no way of connecting a zip drive to the. Well, I mean, I guess I could do a parallel to USB converter.
Right. That's so
The
funny.
problem is will they work with USB 3.1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the idea of games that have like hidden mysteries in them that you have to like figure out and solve outside of the game. And like I'm kind of getting into it with Inscription, and I want to understand it better. Like for example, like like I know for a fact that there's already been like a bunch of videos that talk about like what's actually happening in Inscription, like what is this actually about, like what's the mystery to it, and blah 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 blah. And like I've seen those videos pop up on YouTube, but I have purposely ignored them just so I can try and beat the game on my own and like figure out what's going on if I can. Because I want to get deeper into it. Because I've played, like, for example, like I was really into like the FNAF stuff, but when I was doing the ARG mystery solving for like FNAF, I was doing it alongside of like following other people who were also in the process of solving it, you know? And because I mean that helps you kind of like figure out what's going on as well. And I don't know, this time around with Inscription, I just really wanted to try to like get my own understanding of like what's going on. Um it was really interesting because Lettuce was also telling me that because he was actually helping me with solving some of the puzzles in Inscription. On one of the episodes we did, or I did, I discovered some Morse code in the game. And Lettuce went ahead and decoded the Morse code and kind of like found out about some of the like alternate route stuff going on in the game. And to
Yeah,
my
I did.
yeah, but to my surprise, Lettuce told me that I already screwed it up. So
Yeah, yeah. I think, judging by where he was, I think he missed the turn to Albuquerque.
yeah, which is okay because I mean that just tells me that I'll have to come back and do more stuff, like play it over again, try and find out the other alternate endings. And I'm also aware that there's a portion of the game that I messed up on in the first portion. Um, there's like a jar of failure that's like a bottle of green goo, and I definitely know, just based on the context clues and also having other people talk to me about it a little bit without spoiling anything directly. There's a whole like path that you can take in the whole first portion of the game that's all centered around solving the mystery of the jar of failure, which is the bottle of goo. And I didn't know what to do. I was trying everything I could to try and figure that out on my own. Because, like I said, like nobody spoiled it for me or anything, but people were basically saying like the jar of goo is super important. Like you don't want to miss that. And like I definitely couldn't figure it out in the amount of time that I had for the first portion of the game. And but I want to like know more. I want to know more about the game and I want to play it more. And like the card game is fun and I like it. It's like my favorite digital card game I've ever played. Like I really like it.
I mean, I watched you play it, and then I trolled you in your stream.
Yeah.
Because it's what I do.
Yeah, of
I'm a
course.
shit poster.
Yeah, of course.
But and it definitely looks like Soulforge, and a couple of other of those kind of lane based battle games.
Yeah. I mean, does it look fun to you? Like, do you think like it's like a card game style that you could get into playing, or are you not all that interested
Well,
in it?
I caught, like, since I caught you like in the middle of your new game plus playthrough.
Yeah.
I was kind of lost as to what does what.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely something that if I didn't have like other stuff I was like immensely interested in at the point, I might be convinced to check it out.
Yeah. Well, I one of the things I really like about
It
it, about the
it can't be much worse than potion craft.
I like Potion Craft. I mean, I haven't been back to it in a while, but I still like it. Um, I actually played Potion Craft by myself for a little bit too, like when I was done with the streaming of it. But it's been a little bit of time, and I heard they've had some updates as well, so I might have to look into it.
The game finally updated.
I think I got notified a while ago that Potion Craft got updated. Like, and this was like a month or two ago too. But anyways, to kind of talk a little bit more about Inscription, I really like how the game, like, so the idea is that the whole game is split into like four different styles of gameplay. Like when you're playing the card game, there's like four completely different game styles. And all of them are based off of different kinds of resources. So like and the whole thing is about like not only like playing with like the different resources but also like mixing and matching the resources to like build your best kind of play style. So like the different resources are, there's the blood resource, which is, the blood resource is based off of you sacrifice a creature that you control for blood, and then you spend that blood to summon something else. So that's like the blood resource. And then there's the bone resource, which is whenever something dies, like you get a bone and you can spend those bones to like cast something. So like it's kind of nice because you can sacrifice something for blood to like cast something else, but then also you get the secondary resource of getting bones to cast on something else as well. So like those two resources play really well together, and in my opinion, blood and bones are like the best resources in the game. But then there's also energy, and energy is a resource that you collect as each turn goes on. So, like, for example, on turn one, you gain one energy. And then you can spend that one energy to like use on like on a card that only requires one energy. And then once it's spent, it's gone. But then the next turn, you get that energy back plus another one. So, like, for example, like turn one, you have one energy, turn two, you have two energy, turn three, you have three energy, and so on and so forth. And I think like the maximum is like five or six energy or something like that. And like, that's okay, but it's a little more restrictive because you then are only allowed to play things based on how much time is spent in the game, which is kind of difficult. And that's actually where I'm at right now, where like in the game, I'm in a game state where everything requires energy. You're not allowed to use bones, you're not allowed to use blood, and you're not allowed to use the fourth resource either. It's all energy based, which is a little irritating, but I'm making it work. And then the fourth resource is Moxin, which is a really weird resource. So, like, the Moxin resource is you gain, like, Moxin resource is there's no like natural interaction with the cards that gains you that resource, or interaction with the gameplay that gives you that resource. For like example, like blood and bones come from creatures and like energy comes from turns. So like Moxin are literally cards that you have in your deck, and they don't do anything other than provide a like resource to cast something, but you have to like actually play the Moxin in order to gain that resource. So like if I have like a an emerald Moxin, I can use that to cast emerald things. But like a singular emerald Moxin can only cast singular emerald Moxin resource cards. So, and then there's like three different Moxin, and then like the different cards require different amounts of Moxin. And the thing that kind of sucks about it is that Moxin take up like board space, which is really obnoxious, whereas blood and bones and energy don't require board space. They just exist out in the ether and you can use them whenever you want. So I would say the Moxin resource is like the worst of the four. But I still want to try using it. I haven't really like utilized it yet, but it's kind of cool because the game is like, it's got a bunch of different ways to play it. It's really deep. Like it like the card game itself is really fun to play. Like it's actually like genuinely really fun to play. And then there's like all the intrigue of like the characters, because there's like four like major characters that you interact with throughout the game, and they all kind of like like there's the Lord of Beasts, and like his main resource is blood. And then there's like the Queen of Necromancy, and her main resource is bones. And there's like the robot guy, and he's all about energy. And then you have like the Wizard King, and he's all about Moxin. And and they're all interesting characters, and like they kind of interact with each other in interesting ways. They have different opinions about each other and like how they do things. And like, and then like they all, what's really fun is that they're all kind of like trapped in the game, it feels like. And they just kind of like, I don't know, it's like the ARG is really interesting. Like you're trying to understand like the main character, like because you're not yourself in the game, you're like playing you are playing a person, like a real life person who found the game and is playing as the main character in the game who is interacting with everything going on. So like the game itself is like this weird mysterious, like it's kind of like Jumanji. Like it's like the game itself is like the Jumanji board game. And like there's like something going on with like the four characters being trapped inside of it, and like they all have these weird interactions, and like the game glitches out, and like the company that made the Inscription game is like secretly like weird or evil, and they want to have the game back even though it's not supposed to exist. And I don't know, it's cool, it's a lot of fun, like it's got all this mystery and stuff, and I really like
I
it.
read as I was trying to figure out what that code I unlocked was.
Yeah.
Like it meant, like I got a chunk of the lore, and it seemed interesting, except for I think that lore is just part of Casey's mod, so I have to play through the first part of the game anyway.
Yeah, I did see something about Casey's mod on the store
Well,
page.
Casey's mod is just basically what New Game Plus is.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was like something that I had to pay extra for or something like that.
Yeah, no, Casey's mod kind of turns Inscription from the kind of like horror film or horror game,
Yeah,
like kind of weird setting, into a retro PC game.
yeah. Well, I mean, so in the original version, like the first portion, they definitely like let you know that it's like a game that was discovered by the main character who you are playing as. And
Mm-hmm.
like so they definitely imply that that's a thing, but it does look like that. I guess Casey's mod is just the next edition, which might be what I'm playing right now, I guess. I don't know. Kind of like trying to read about it a little bit.
Yeah,
But
I'm reading it out like March 17th. It came out. It unlocks uh, when you beat Inscription for the first time. It unlocks,
yeah.
or it can be accessed via the cheat code Shift KM
Yeah, that's what
on
I'm
the start
looking at
menu.
too. That's interesting.
And it looks, the graphics on it looks kind of different than what you're used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. It is different. Okay, so what this looks like is it's a new game plus after the new game plus that I'm playing is what it looks like from here. Yeah. Oh, that looks cool, dude. I'm like looking at it. Oh, and it adds like it brings you back to the cabin, and it's got a bunch of additional things to do. And there's
Yeah.
like computer codes that you can put in, and like weird items you can interact with to change like how the cards work. And oh, this looks so cool. I want to play this so badly. Well, I have to beat the main storyline to like get to this, I assume.
Okay.
Oh man.
So, I think you kind of sold me on at least trying the demo.
Yeah, it's worth it. Inscription's great. I love it. Like and like
Or at least so that I know what the card game, so that when I'm watching, I know what the card game's like, the actual rules of the card game. Because when I'm watching you, like now, because I didn't watch you play before all
uh-huh.
that intently, I don't know a lot about the card game system. So I instead of telling you to get good, I was just like, come forth, blue eyes, white dragon,
Yeah.
because I can't tell if you were or not.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So
It's
I'm like, I was like, I can't make constructive criticism or, congratulate him on his masterful gameplay. So I'm
mhm.
just gonna shit post. I'm just gonna go ahead and shit post some Yu-Gi-Oh memes.
That's my lettuce. I wouldn't have them any other way.
Yep, it's what I do. But no, I just downloaded the demo.
Yeah.
Another. I don't know if you would agree that this is an ARG or not.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with the game PC Building Simulator?
No. But that sounds interesting.
It's really not. It's a
Really?
game where it's a kind of a. It's a game where you just build computers.
Right.
There's a career mode where you're running a computer shop
Okay.
and you fix people's computers. It's actually not. It's actually a fun game, and I have it on Steam.
Right.
They announced its sequel.
Okay.
It's being published by Epic Games.
Oh, okay. So it's probably not on Steam then.
Yeah, it's an EGS exclusive now.
Got it. Okay.
Like the first game wasn't was definitely not a being published by Epic Games.
Mm-hmm.
But it had a license for Unreal 4.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the agreement of getting their license for Unreal 5, I'm assuming, was, hey, this game was pretty popular. We'll publish it for you. We'll let you use we'll give you a license to Unreal 5. But this game is ours now.
Gotcha.
So, but hey, good news. I've already broke the seal of freshness on Epic Game Store.
Yeah? Is that a good thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's how I play Kingdom Hearts on my PC. So
right.
So it's not like I'm like, oh, I've got to install Epic Game. It's like, nope, I've already installed Epic Game. As a matter of fact, I have Kingdom Hearts on Epic Game Store, and I have Far Cry 6 and Watch Dogs. So
might as well, right?
So like when that game comes out, when it will come, it's currently, it's been it's the announced trailer came out for it, and it's like, wish list this so we know, so you know when it comes out so you can buy it. I'm like, okay. Oh, okay. You got me. Because the graphical updates between the first game and the new game that was afforded by Unreal Engine 5 is pretty good. And given what I know about the Unreal Engine 5 engine, there's a lot that they could do that they couldn't do before.
Yeah.
That might make the building experience a bit more fluid. So, like
the PC building.
Yeah, the actual gameplay part of the game, the actual gameplay loop of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There were some things that were very clacky in the game. So
when you mentioned ARG, like, what made me think was that there was like a secret hidden, like, game inside the game where it's like, oh, there's secretly like a mystery to unlock. Is that like
no there's there's a career mode,
right?
It's but that's it depends on your definition of alternate reality game.
Yeah,
it's because I mean, really the difference between an alternate reality game and a simulator, like, depending on your difference, there's no difference between simulator and alternate reality game.
Right. Well, I mean, so like a lot of the time, because I know that ARGs can be like the concept of like the vague basis of an ARG can be a lot of different things. Like, for example, like you mentioned, Pokemon Go is technically an ARG. It's an alternate reality game. It's like
you're walking around reality, and then your phone is like, hey, there's this Pikachu nestled on the top of your penis.
Yeah, exactly. Right there on the tip. Right there on the tip.
Twat that Pikachu with your balls.
Exactly. But a lot of the time when I think of ARGs, I usually default to thinking of games that have like there's a mystery afoot, and if you want to solve it, you gotta like find all the binary code and like the hexadecimal code, or like this weird scrambled picture that you have to like put into Photoshop and like decode to give you like a hint of lore or something like that.
Yeah, games that specifically take you outside of the game box.
Yeah.
In order to progress or to do functions within the game.
Exactly.
Simulacra doesn't actually take you outside of the game box, but it does. But it provides you tools that feel like it's also outside of the game box.
Yeah, yeah. Simulacra is great. I never finished it, but I liked it a lot.
It's that is a very spooky ending.
Yeah, I bet. It seems like it probably was.
I mean, I guess to an extent, Doki Doki's ending is a little ARG.
Yeah, it is. I wish, like, and
even though the game is not too very subtle about it. Whatever you do, don't go here into this folder, then this subfolder, this folder, and delete this .txt. Whatever you do, don't do that, because that would be a pisser and no good fun.
They definitely kind of get in your face about what you're supposed to do at the end there. That is for sure.
Well, I mean, they want you to see the ending.
Yeah,
you've already visual noveled through somebody's suicide, and then the 5 or 10 minutes of creepy pasta to get to the only Monica part of the game.
Just Monica.
So, spoilers for anybody who hasn't played a free-to-play game.
Yeah, true. Well, and they have the Plus version, which I don't know anything about. I actually haven't spoiled that game for myself yet, because I was thinking about maybe buying it, and if I do, I'll probably play it. But in hopes, I heard that it has different stuff other than the original game, which is why I don't want to spoil it for myself.
Oh.
But I think it's like a $15 game if you want to play the Plus version. But
12.
It's $12. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
Yeah. But I gotta say,
Doki Doki Literature Club fan pack.
I don't know about that.
It's a DLC that has soundtrack content.
Yeah, no, I never buy soundtracks for games because that's like a big thing for a lot of games like that. Yeah, it's normally $15, but it's on sale for $12 right now. That makes sense.
Okay.
But so like I loved Doki Doki, even though like I never got to play it on the channel because I kind of like played it on my own and did my own thing with it. And which is sad because I played it like before I had my channel, and I wish that I had my channel to actually play it at the time. And I don't want to replay it despite people have like, I've actually been asked a couple of times to play it on the channel, and I don't want to do it.
The Doki Doki's not replayable.
It's not. And that's like what sucks about it. You can't play through it and then, because like if I played through it, it wouldn't be fun. I wouldn't have like the same reactions that I had the first time I played through, because I know exactly what's happening all the time. And that feels bad, yo. But I really liked it a lot.
It was not suitable for children or who are easily disturbed.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like it's a pretty scary game. There's some scary stuff.
Well, I mean, a chick hangs herself in the middle of it.
Yeah. And the worst part is when, because like it's so
Yeetus the fetus.
I've always, what really scared me? Like I remember it was one of the scariest moments in the game for me when I played it the first time was when
like the Sundry girl starts cutting herself.
That's pretty scary too. Yeah, the psycho
her eyeballs
chick.
Stop bleeding. Did her eyeballs start bleeding?
Dude, do you remember when she gives you the letter and she like it's covered in blood and piss? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, so one of the scariest things to me that always really freaked me out was right before you discover the girl who hangs herself, right before you discover her corpse, Monica says to you, "Oh dude, I can't believe you just left her hanging." Even just like remembering that scene like freaks me out now. I just had like a chill run down my spine because she knows she's like suicidal. Yeah. I was just going to say that line where she says, "I can't believe you just left her there hanging." Like I was like, By the way,
the swinger's name is Sayori.
Sayori, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the swinger is Sayori.
Yeah. I can't believe you just left Sayori hanging. It's like, oh, that's so messed up. It's so messed up. But I overall, like, one of the things that I always like thought about that game is I always felt really bad for Monica. Like, I always felt like Monica was like I always felt really bad for her. Like, she's like, because like the idea is that like the other characters in the game are like not sentient. You know, they're just programs. Like, they're just shells of characters that once existed as her friends. They're not really people anymore. But the whole concept was that Monica was like the sentient brain. She was like the brain in the jar, you know? And she was like the only character that still had like any form of intelligence and any form of sentience. And she was like scared and trapped and she didn't know what to do. And I always felt really bad for her, like in the game, like even though she was like really, you know, sadistic and nasty, I felt super bad for her. Like, I don't know. And then like at the very end where she sings the song for you is just like that. That's so sad. Like, it's so like that song, the song they played, it's literally called, I think, Monica's Song. And it's so sad. Like, oh my God. It touches my heart, man. But
You get attached to some of the weirdest crap.
I do. I know. Like that game.
By the way, I noticed Maz was pretty intent in your streams the past couple of days. Did you invite her to join you in some into some finny fun?
She said that she was listening to the podcast.
Oh well, hi.
She said that one of the things is she said, I'm halfway, like, if I remember correctly, when I was last chatting with her, she said, I'm halfway through the most recent Imaginary Boys podcast, and she was really excited for me to drink the sweet corn soda. That's what I remember her saying.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So she's working her way back. Mm-hmm. So I guess, hi. But I'm guessing you didn't get a chance to ask her to play your YIF game, so that she could talk to you, so that you two could talk to each other about it on the podcast.
I don't know if she'd be into that game. I mean, I'll be honest. Like,
I think she would do. I think she might.
You do know, like, I mean, I know that you haven't played it because you won't man the fuck up and play it with me. But there's
I'm sorry. Man the up.
Yeah.
I've seen your bony ass.
But you won't play Monster Girl Island. What does my bony ass have to do with that?
I'm pretty sure I'm more of a man than you.
Hurtful, but I mean, whatever.
Like, but I would argue that playing, you know, Yiffy Yiff's Finny Fun Time probably
Listen, I don't want to hear shit from Mr. Dick Dynandash, okay? I don't want to hear shit from you about this, okay?
I mean, don't you? Okay. What's more manly? Like pretending to be a dolphin so you could fornicate with some dolphins, or, you know, taking a massive dongus in your bum piece? What's more manly?
This is a catch-22.
Possibly. No, it's not catch-22, because pretending to be a dolphin disqualifies you from being a man. So, okay. Because you're not a man, you're a dolphin having some finny fun.
Okay, so first of all, like, I feel like I kind of wanted to make some clarifications here. So the first thing is that, like, I have never been like really truly, like, when I imagine like furry porn and stuff like that, I think of stuff that I've seen on like DeviantArt, okay, where it's like the characters are
inflation fetish, yum yum.
Huh?
I said inflation fetish, yum yum.
Yeah, well, like, because like I've seen stuff where it's like cartoon animated humanoid anamorphous like creatures where it's
Yeah.
like it's so weird because the thing is like when it comes to like Monster Girl Island, right? And a lot of like other stuff that I've seen where it's like anime where it's like the hot chicks are monsters, which, you know, in some of them that I've seen, they're pretty hot. They're more humanoid. Like they're not usually covered in like fur, you know, like they're usually for example, like the Spider Girl is like has like a spider body, but she's still got like the upper half of like a female body with like skin and tits and a human face and like stuff like that. Or like you have the cat girl who is like a human girl, but she has like cat ears and a cat tail, and that's it. Or like you have like the wolf girl who's still like a human girl with human skin, but she has like wolf ears and a wolf tail. Like I like them more on the humanoid side. Now, I'm thinking that like no matter what angle I try to get in on this, it's still technically furry. It's still like no matter like how much you take in or take out from it, it's still furry, right? But like when I see the ones where they're like, oh, like it's like she's covered in fur, like from like head to toe, like all her fingers and like her entire body is just all fur, and it's like, nah, dude, like nah, for some reason that like when it gets to that point, it's weird to me. Like I can't do
No,
that.
no, no. Yeah. Yeah, you say that now. Come on. Nico Musum is 100% the gateway drug. Sure, you've got yourself a cat girl, you know, a lovely little cat girl woman, like looks like a human person, except for she might be wearing like a headpiece with cat like ears, and she has a butt plug with a tail.
Right.
And you know, you're like, well, that's hot, right?
Mm.
But then you know, all of a sudden, like the eyes change and the nose change.
The nose is a bit weird for me. Like the eyes, I was like, okay, whatever. But when you said nose, that's a little too weird for me.
So you take your typical Nico, and you have you know, that's fine. But then all of a sudden they have human eyes. Then they go from human eyes to chibi eyes. Then they go to cat like eyes, and then the nose,
Like, see, when you say nose, that's weird to me.
and then the nose goes from human nose to kind of all of a sudden becomes like they like a human nose, but they have the black makeup on it to make it look like a cat nose. Then the next thing you know, it's an actual cat nose, and then there's the whiskers, and then the body hair starts creeping up slowly.
Yeah, see, you like I said, you lost me at nose, and then you said whiskers, and I was like, like you said nose, and I was like, no, and then you said whiskers, and I said no, and then you start saying body hair, and I'm still no. Like, I still like my human girls human. Like, I still like my ladies to be human. Okay, like there's no
Yeah.
getting around that for me. There's none. The only like I will say, here's one thing. There is one thing where I get a little weird. Okay, and for some reason I think the concept of like slime girls, where they're like a
Slime girls, and scale and dragon girls.
Well,
where
so
their
but
skin where their skin's because like their skin either is covered in a slime or scales or some combination of the both.
I can't do scales. I think that's weird too. But like I think
Oh,
like
I thought you told me you were a hardcore scaly.
when I say that, it's a joke because of the idea of like I've always had a thing for like dragon women, but those dragon women still have human forms. Like if I'm talking about like what's it called? There's the Dragon Maid anime that was really good. I mean, she literally does transform into a full-blown dragon, but when she's in human form, she ain't got no scales. I mean, she's got like a scaly tail, I guess. I guess that's the furthest it goes, but and like
Yeah.
horns, but she's still like got that human skin and all that. You know, like it's like when it comes to like full blow, like, you know, like I like the accents, you know, the ear accent or the tail accent. Like, yeah, sure, okay, that's cute. But like
Yeah.
when it's straight up like oh no, like I don't have like normal human skin anymore. Like now I have like scales, or now I have like all this fur, and it's like nah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, you say that, but the thing is, I've seen it's a. I understand I'm making an incredibly large slippery slope fallacy.
Okay.
Like I'll be the first one to admit that this sounds incredibly like a slippery slope fallacy. However, I've seen way too many motherfuckers slide down that slope to be like, yeah, it's obviously very fun to slide down that slope. A lot of people are doing it.
I mean, I dated a girl for a very short amount of time who told me she was a furry.
I mean,
And
we both did.
yeah, and although I was super curious, I was not like, and like I said, we dated for a short time. It never really led to anything during that short time.
The worst it got for you was she never showed you her fursuit.
She told me she had one, and I was genuinely curious about it, but I wasn't about to like get down and dirty in a fursuit. Like that was not on my list of priorities. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, mine didn't include a fursuit.
Yeah.
Mine just wanted a dog's nose in my asshole.
No bueno. No bueno.
Yeah.
No bueno.
I tap out. I was like, I mean, normally I'm like, okay, that's fine. You have your dog in the room while we're doing it. That's fine. As long as it stays over there. But the second you're like, no, I insist that he participates, like, let him sniff you. I'm like, nope. Tap out. Tap, tap, tap out.
Yeah.
Tippity tappity, tippity tappity, tap, 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 tap.
No. But the only thing where I get a little weird is I, for some reason, I think the concept of like slime girls is really hot. Like, and I don't get that one because like that goes way past like all like, oh, is it fur? Like, no. Is it scales? No. Is it slime? All right.
I mean, okay, so like I give you no ends of shit there, but I'll try to be,
you don't have to be nice to me about it. It's fine.
You're friendly. I'll try to be your friendly neighborhood therapist here on this one. How do you feel about bukkake?
On me? No, I'm good. I
meant on a woman that you may or may not have contributed to.
I mean, I've never participated in an activity such as that.
Because Slime Girl is just like one step. Is just like the next evolution of Money Shot Girl.
She's like a woman, but she's all bukkake.
She's got bukkake 24/7.
It's like you have regular woman, then you have bukkake woman, and then you have slime girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Because like whenever I think about like slime girls in like when I've seen them in games, when I've seen them in anime, even in Monster Girl Island, they did this where the slime girl can always be whatever she wants to be, or in a lot of the cases, whatever you want her to be. She can be that voluptuous woman with ginormous boobies, or she can be like small and petite, or somewhere in between the two of them, And like, I don't know, I thought that was kind of hot, And like, for some reason, they're always like, you can always see through them. And I don't know why, but that's like something kind of interesting to me. Like, I think the idea of a slime woman is more of an interesting thing than a super sexy thing. It's definitely a sexy thing, in my opinion. But it's more like you've piqued my interest.
How many times did you make love to a bottle of apple jelly?
Well, first of all, I like to call her Appalina, if you don't mind. And I'd prefer that you not speak about her in that way.
Okay.
And what happens in my bedroom is none of your business. Between me and Appalina.
Fair enough.
But sometimes I can go for my lovely I call her Marmalade, and she's a fine aged orange marmalade.
Okay, no. I asked the obvious question because the way you were describing slime girls, and then when you hit then when you hit on the transparency thing, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Because he just described a bottle of apple jelly. I say as I'm like considering making myself a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Yep. Just think about me when you're making that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I want you to think about me. That's right.
My apple jelly is not the least bit cloudy, thankfully.
I'm gonna
You see this?
I'm gonna be caulking all over your PB&J, bro.
Do you see this? Yeah, I can see it says roommates. I pull out a bottle of jelly. I say, "You see this jelly? I don't want to hear your jam. I don't want to see your jam in this jelly."
Oh man! And you know, it's funny because it's also funny because like I was talking with a Shed in Discord today. Hi, Shed. I know you listen to these. Hi, Shed. Shout out to you, my good friend. You're awesome. I love you.
I decided a Shed was Son Goku.
I don't know what that is.
Son Goku from Dragon Ball.
Oh, right.
The character of Dragon Ball Z, Son Goku, otherwise known as Kakarot.
Right. Okay.
Because
I've just never heard him called Son Goku before. I've never heard that name before.
Well, Son Goku.
Yeah, I'm just used to hearing Goku.
Kakarot. Okay. He had said something, and I was like, and I corrected him. I was like, oh, well, you can't. He also suggests this thing, so I'm not following his suggestion. He's like, yeah, you got me. And then he did the Shed own meme. I was like, don't worry, you're not this chat's Krillin.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He's
like, oh no, am I worse? Am I Yamcha? It's like, no, you could be Son Goku only because we need Rebecca to be Chi-Chi.
That's good. But I was chatting with a Shed about because I had watched a few episodes of Queen's Blade because he was like telling me, he's like, it's one of my favorites, like you got to watch it. I was like, you know what, I will watch it for you, Shed. I will watch it for you. And man, that anime's got a lot of boobies in it. Like if you're looking for an anime that's just all titties all the time, go and watch yourself some Queen's Blade. It's actually funny because a Shed's like, oh yeah, I forgot that there's so many titties. And I'm like, you've watched like, it's because it's so much titties that you just normalize yourself to it. So you just forget that it exists after a while. But I was even telling a Shed, I was like, you know, my favorite character that they've introduced is actually the slime girl. So and she does some weird kinky shit, dude. She sprays acid out of her tits. She literally squeezes her boobies to shoot acid out of them, out of the nipples. It's amazing. But she's also a total psychopath, and I love her because she's a total psychopath. And they did this really cool scene. I was telling a Shed about it that I loved, where she's strangling another character to death, like got this like death grip on another girl, and she's like strangling her to death. And another character leaps in to like save that character, and she slices the slime girl's hands off. And like, so the slime girl is taken aback and is like starting a fight with this other character. But the whole time, her slimy hands are still wrapped around the other character's neck, and she's still strangling her to death. And I'm like, that is so freaking rad! Like, I don't know. I thought it was super cool. But yeah, my favorite character in Queen's Blade is Slime Girl. So there you go. I have a thing about slime girls, and I don't actually understand it. So if you think you understand why I like slime girls, that's awesome, because I sure as hell do not understand it. I just like them. I think they're interesting ladies. I don't quite get it myself, but there you go. So, but I would advocate that I'm not a full-blown furry, and I'm going to stick to it.
Oh, no, I don't think you're a full-blown furry. I couldn't associate with you if I thought you were a full-blown furry. But I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you talk me into your gateway drug, Mr. Man.
You know, there's also like you can choose which women you want to be with. Like, you don't have to like all of them. And also,
oh come on, if there's a woman, if this is a game, I'm going for the high score.
Well, okay, yeah, I mean, sure. There's a hot elf chick. So, like, there's a super fine elf chick. The only weird thing about her is her long ears, but she's super fine and she's got huge boobles. And there's also a really hot robot chick. I don't think you can have sex with her, though. But you definitely get to see her boobles. So, I mean, it's worth it if you want to see hot robot chick boobles. But yeah. So, I mean, they're not all, like, monsters, but the really hot ones are. And I want to romance the dragon chick, but they didn't finish her story arc. And I want to like romance the wasp chick too, but they also didn't finish her story arc. Man, I wish that game would just finish itself already. I want to play the full game. I will pay that man $20 or $30 to play Monster Girl Island to its fullest capacity because I want to play that game so badly.
I don't think he has any intention to complete his gateway furry sex simulator.
It's just a good game. Like the core, and like it's even got like a cool time travel story in it. Like it's actually like good. It's a good game. Like, yeah, there's a lot of
I'm sure it is.
There's a lot of graphic sex in it, like very, very graphic sex. But it's a good game, man.
I mean, so I'm not dismissing it straight out of hand. I went to the store page.
Yeah.
And it sells itself on graphic sex. It's a sex game.
Was there anything else that you were trying to say with that? Like you just were like, "Oh no, there's sex." And then that's it?
Yeah, it's like the storefront page. It's a sex game.
Yeah.
It sells itself as a sex game. It's like a porn that's like tries to pretend like its story matters.
But there is actual gameplay and there's exploration and the character models are beautiful and like there's a story to it and there's like obviously like a villain. There's a villain in it. Like there's actually like an interesting villain and there's like a story about like a civil war between like the different tribes and stuff. It's cool.
No. I'm pretty sure it's really cool.
It's a cool game, man.
I've seen pornography with villains in it. Like and the thing is like I will applaud this game for being the porn that tries trying its hardest to legitimize itself.
Yeah.
And I will give it its golf clap that it roundly deserves because you can go on Steam and you can see a bunch of sex games that, you know, just don't give you much of a gameplay. Like they ask you to face roll through a game of bad game of Tetris. Some of them they don't even ask you to do that. They ask you just to hit next and answer a question.
Yeah.
But like Monster Girl Island, let's just take it for what it is. It's a sex game. It sells itself as a sex game. It's got all these other things, and the reason why it has this other things is because the person who made this game has the correct philosophy about pornography.
Good porn tells a good story.
When I care more about the characters, I care more about the bruh.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, I appreciate a pornography's attempt to tell a story, which is why I typically like a good hentai, because let's face it, the first thing that will quickly spicing up a basic isekai plot is a dick chick.
I feel it.
Yeah, so
you're just making me, you know what I'm realizing? I need to replay Monster Girl Island. This is something I need to do because I'm also remembering that there's a secret girl that I didn't unlock correctly. And
question, does Monster Girl Island have multiplayer?
No, but it should.
That's the miss. Like Like, because I would
Uh-huh.
if it had actual multiplayer where I could log into your world and
Uh-huh.
just hop on a puppy and ride around on a puppy with you to find some chicks to bang, and then we can Eiffel Tower these chicks together. I would do that as a bro with you.
There's a dog racing mini game in the game that's actually really interesting, fun, and difficult. Now that I remember, because the game has real gameplay in it.
Yes, the game has real gameplay in it because the person who made this game is an exceptional tryhard. And I will give credit where credit is due. At least he didn't flood Steam with like 7 like very weak attempts to sell a few pornographic images. No, he 3D modeled a bunch of women with like animal ears.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
He 3D modeled a bunch of Nico, and that's more effort than anybody else puts in.
Mm-hmm.
And there, but the thing is like, give me Monster Girl Island, but make it a Fudu collection.
All right. Well, you know what? I want to tell the creator of Monster Girl Island, I respect you. I respect your hustle. I respect your game. I think you did an amazing job with what you've done. I do hope that you actually, I did actually read, there was a thread. I was curious. Yeah, that's right. I recently went into the community hub of Monster Girl Island to see the progress on the game because I love it that much.
That sounds like a regret.
There was a thread where the guy did say, like, it was recent, where the guy said he's still working on it. So that's good to know.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Well, because the prologue has been out for a long time now. Like, it's been out since when was it released? Let's see. This game was released in 2019, so it's been out for a while, and the guy's been working on it nonstop.
So he's been working on it for about as long as the people have been working on Pal World.
Essentially, yeah. And
Okay.
but like I don't know. I like what I see. I want it to be finished, and I did see an update from what I remember not too long ago where the guy's like, "I promise you guys, I'm still working on it, but it's a big project." So that made me really happy. But yeah, I'm remembering that there was a girl character that I missed in my first playthrough that I didn't finish all the way through, and there's also a secret girl that I was trying to unlock, but I failed because her mini game, the game mode that you have to do to unlock her is actually very challenging. So I might replay the game.
Like, I don't know. Like, I probably would respect the game more if it wasn't in first person.
Yeah. You can shift into third person. There is a third person camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Every piece of information I saw was third person.
Well, so the reason why I remember that it goes into third person is because your character model is hilarious. Your character model is a guy with a paper bag on his head, and there's a Sharpie smiley face on the paper bag. There you go.
I mean, that's something he's got to fix.
Well, I kind of like it. I think it's actually really funny, but you know, I get it.
Well, no.
Like to see a sexy man, huh?
Let that be an option. Let the muscular guy with the paper bag over his head be an avatar option.
Yeah,
but you know, also
customize your character.
Let you be a female.
Maybe.
Because let's face it, in a game like this,
you want to customize the genitalia, don't you?
Well, no. So often in MMOs, I play female characters.
Sure, I've done that before. Well, not in MMOs, but I've played games where I play female characters.
Yeah, often in MMOs, I'll play a female character, especially if I get to control body sliders. I'm not I'm that guy. In other games, yes, I will most of the time I'll pick male. But if I think the male character is disgusting, and the female character has a night, it's in third person, and the female character, is pleasing to the eye.
Right.
I'm choosing the female avatar.
Nice. See, my thing is in MMOs, I like to pick a male character, but then dress him up like a woman. That's my thing. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, but in MMOs, you get married.
Yeah, I know. That's why I do it. One of my favorite things about there was an MMO I used to play, and my favorite thing was to dress like be a man, like a male character, but dress up like a woman. And I had in one of the MMOs I played, I had a wife in one of the games, and her whole MO was she was a woman who dressed up like a man. We were perfect for each other. It was great.
Yeah, no, sounds great. I see. I'm the weirdo who goes and who plays an MMO and tries to avoid the multiplayer aspect as much as possible.
Ah, you're a solo player on MMOs, huh?
Yeah, no, if an MMO could be played solo, I do the solo stuff.
I feel it. Well, you know what? I think we should wrap this up. But this has been a lot of fun. I actually, we talked about a lot of fun stuff, and you know what? Maybe you and me should maybe organize a private gaming session where I will stream Monster Girl Island, and you can just kind of watch and, tell me what to do in the game, and we'll see where it goes from there. What do you think? What do you think? You like that idea? Maybe
okay. No, I can't commit to that. Only because I can't trust you to not be that creepy guy who just giggles in the middle of the sex scene.
Oh, I don't do that. I mean, like, what? I'll voice the characters for you if you want me to. I've done it before. I mean,
no. Like I like it when you voice the characters in your stream.
I know you do. Is this a date? Is this a date? Maybe we can discuss this a little more off camera. What you think?
Yeah. I guess maybe like let's take this offline.
All right. Well, you know what? The Imaginary Boys have some private discussions that they need to have. So we're going to say all the wonderful things that we say at the end of our podcast. So first of all, thank you guys all so much for listening. We greatly appreciate that. Like, comment, and subscribe. And check in the description below for all the wonderful links such as PayPal and Streamlabs. All donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you to the wonderful Patreon members, which include Bo, Falcon, Fajuk Enterprises, James P, Miss Rebecca, as well as Scorpageist. I love you guys, and you guys take care of me, so I greatly appreciate you. And you know what? Go ahead and go down below. Check for the link for the Teespring account where lots of merch is down there. I'm very proud of all the merch designs I put up. And there will be more coming very, very soon. So I hope you guys are interested in that. And I think that's about it, other than the secret discussions of playing Monster Girl Island offline between me and Lettuce. So other than that, I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and say we have been the Imaginary Boys.
Go forth, Blue Eyes, my dragon.
Come forth, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
How many times do I have to tell you that it won't work like